Have you ever stopped to think about why some sleeping positions seem more comfortable than others? While some people prefer to lie on their stomachs, others snuggle up on the right or left side, as if they were curled up in a cocoon. And there are still those who spread out freely across the bed, seeking as much space as possible. Moreover, there are other preferences. Sleeping with pajamas or without pajamas, with a blanket or with nothing at all. But is there a right way to sleep? Does the position in which you sleep really make a difference in the quality of your sleep? Today, thanks to an ancient Zen story, you will discover what happens when you choose to sleep on the left side. Stay with us until the end to discover this powerful insight that can completely transform your rest routine. And before we begin, take the opportunity to subscribe to the Heart of Wisdom channel and activate notifications. That way, you won't miss any more fascinating content like this. The wisdom of an ancient monastery in an ancient Buddhist monastery, hidden among the serene mountains of Japan and surrounded by beautiful gardens that seemed to breathe peace. An elderly and wise monk named Ichiro was preparing to share a profound teaching about sleep with his disciples. It was a full moon night, and the silvery glow of the moon illuminated the gardens and the temple with a soft light. The silence was broken only by the gentle sound of the wind among the trees and the distant murmur of a small waterfall. Gathered in the main hall, the disciples were sitting on tatami mats, forming a semicircle around Ichiro. His voice, calm and serene, filled the room, creating an atmosphere of respect and anticipation. Today, dear disciples, we will explore why sleeping on the left side is one of the greatest gifts we can offer to our body and spirit. Began Ichiro with a warm look. Let us together uncover the connections between this simple habit and the profound benefits for our health and well-being. The disciples, fascinated, leaned slightly forward, eager for every word from the master. For ancient Eastern traditions, understanding the connection between body, mind, and spirit was essential to achieving balance and wisdom. Sleeping on the left side was not seen merely as an unimportant habit, but rather as an intentional practice, rooted in teachings that span generations. The first benefit, the purification of the lymphatic system with a serene expression. Ichiro explained, the first benefit of sleeping on the left side is the purification of the lymphatic system. He described the lymphatic system as a calm and crystal clear river flowing through the body, carrying proteins, glucose, and other substances essential to life. The left side of the body was seen as the bed of this sacred river, favoring the natural flow and aiding in the removal of toxins. Just as a river sweeps fallen leaves from its surface, Ichiro took a brief pause, letting the words resonate in the hearts of the listeners. Just as a river needs to flow freely to maintain its purity, our body needs this balance to renew itself every day. He described with poetry the process by which the body unloads the weight of accumulated impurities, reinforcing the idea that sleep is not just rest, but a true internal restoration. The second benefit, the alignment of internal organs. With a slight smile, Ichiro continued, the stomach and the pancreas are like deities within our inner temple, he explained, raising his gaze with symbolic reverence. And sleeping on the left side is like making space for these deities to dance in harmony. He compared the stomach and the pancreas to musicians playing a smooth and precise melody, working together to regulate digestion and the balance of sugars in the body. When you lie on your left side, you are allowing them to do their work with mastery, preparing your body for a new day with energy and vitality. The image of organs working in sync like a celestial orchestra enchanted the disciples. The metaphor reinforced the importance of a simple gesture, such as the position in which one lies down, in creating a more effective and conscious health routine. The third benefit, digestion and the internal cleansing process. Ichiro's eyes shone with a mix of compassion and conviction. as he touched on the next point. Sleeping on the left side aids in digestion and the flow of waste through the body, like a fertile stream nourishing the land it passes through. He explained that, during sleep, the large intestine functions like a sacred garden, where nutrients are absorbed and waste is gently processed. By lying down correctly, you help your body transform everything you consumed into energy or eliminate what is unnecessary, he concluded. The hall remained in absolute silence as the disciples reflected on this metaphor. They were not just learning about sleep, but rediscovering the way they viewed their own bodies. Ichiro took a deep breath before proceeding, and his voice carried a tone of reverence and serenity. The heart is the sovereign of our body, he stated with a slight smile. And by sleeping on the left side, we create an ideal environment for it to perform its function fully. With gentle gestures, he explained how the aorta, the main artery that carries blood from the heart to the rest of the body, forms an arch towards the left side. This allows the blood flow to follow its natural path with greater ease and harmony. The silence in the room was broken only by the attentive breathing of the disciples, who absorbed every word with devotion by supporting the left side of the body. Continued Ichiro, you help the heart to beat effortlessly, like a piece of music played with softness and precision. The silent guardian, the spleen and its vital role. Ichiro began to talk about the spleen, an often forgotten organ, but with invaluable importance. The spleen is like a faithful guardian of the body, silent but tireless, he said, with a contemplative look. It works like a devoted caretaker, filtering and purifying the blood, strengthening our immune system. He described the spleen as a sanctuary where bodily fluids arrive as pilgrims seeking renewal and strength. When we rest on the left side, we allow these pilgrims to reach their destination with ease, receiving the welcome they need to nourish and revitalize the entire body. This poetic comparison made some disciples close their eyes for a moment, as if they were visualizing this internal journey. The power of gravity, our silent guide. With a serene glow in his eyes, Ichiro introduced the next teaching with the grace of someone sharing a gem of wisdom. Just as rivers follow the flow dictated by gravity, our bodies are also guided by this invisible force, he explained, with his hands open in a gesture of surrender. Gravity assists us in every breath, in every movement, and even in the nightly purification process of our body, he continued, emphasizing the importance of respecting this subtle force. Sleeping on the left side was not just a matter of comfort, but an act of alignment with the natural forces of the universe. It's an invitation to life, said Ichiro with a slight smile. A celebration that reflects in our dreams and in our quietest moments. The disciples were enchanted. The concept of rest came to be seen as a sacred ritual, an act of reverence to the body itself and the forces that sustain it. The balance between yin and yang. During sleep, Ichiro closed his eyes for a brief moment and took a deep breath before continuing. The nature of the left side is connected to yin, he explained. Yin is the embrace of the night, the silent refuge where we find rest and regeneration. He described yin as a welcoming energy that envelops us with calmness and reminds us of the importance of slowing down. Sleeping on your left side is like giving a gift to your inner self, he continued tenderly. It is an act of kindness towards yourself, a reminder that we deserve deep and restorative rest. Inspirational stories of spiritual practice. Ichiro told stories of monks who, upon adopting the habit of sleeping on their left side, felt their energies flow like tranquil rivers towards inner harmony. These monks reported an increase in flexibility in their meditation practices, as if their bodies and minds were more easily molded to serenity, he revealed. He shared the testimony of an elder who, after years of sleeping this way, claimed to feel stronger and more centered during his morning meditations. This simple habit, Ichiro emphasized, prepares not only the body, but also the mind for spiritual awakening. Connecting with the natural rhythms of life with his eyes turned towards the moon, visible through the hall window. Ichiro made a final reflection on the importance of aligning with the rhythm of nature. Nature teaches us to seek this alignment with the universal flow, he said reverently. The left side is like a leaf dancing in the wind, moving with lightness and confidence in the direction life proposes. He raised his hand slowly, as if illustrating the movement of a floating leaf, and lowered it gently when we learn to respect this natural movement. Each night becomes a new opportunity for rebirth. The gift of full breathing Gikaro continued with a final teaching. Sleeping on this side also improves our breathing. When we rest on the left side, we free up space for the lungs to expand freely and receive all the air needed to revitalize our being. He paused and asked with a gentle smile, "And what about you? How do you usually sleep?" The room fell silent for a few seconds as the disciples reflected. Some began to smile, others exchanged glances. Ichiro looked at each of the disciples with a gaze of serenity and inspiration before concluding. When we lie on our left side, our trachea and esophagus align better with the spine, allowing for lighter and deeper breathing. The diaphragm, located just below the lungs, moves with greater freedom, promoting calm and continuous breathing. He paused briefly, and his voice sounded soft like the wind among the trees, with the heart positioned on the left side of the chest. This position reduces the pressure on it and improves blood circulation, allowing blood to flow more easily throughout the body. Protection against reflux and relief for the Spinachiro explained how the position helps combat gastric reflux. By sleeping on the left side, the stomach is positioned below the esophagus, which reduces the risk of gastric juices returning to the esophagus and causing discomfort, he explained simply. The image was clear: a body that cooperates with natural laws to protect itself from discomforts and pains. Moreover, added Ichiro, this position helps maintain the natural S-curvature of the spine, providing support to the vertebrae and preventing excessive pressure on the discs and joints. With this, he reinforced the idea that a pain-free awakening is not a matter of chance, but the result of conscious practices that can be adapted by anyone, much more than just rest with an expression of profound serenity. Ichiro made a final revelation. Sleeping on the left side is more than just a way to rest the body. It is a path to cultivate awareness and spiritual growth. He walked slowly through the hall, observing the disciples with respect. Buddhist monks, always attentive to the connection between body and mind, have long adopted this practice as part of their daily care. And you can do the same, for the benefit not only of the body but also of the mind and spirit. The master's words echoed through the hall, and a reflective silence settled in. Each disciple felt that they had received more than just practical advice. They had received an invitation to an inner transformation. Daily transformations, small habits, big results. In the days that followed, something remarkable happened. The disciples who began to sleep on their left side reported significant changes. They felt more invigorated upon waking, as if the night had been a balm for their worries. Digestion improved considerably, becoming lighter and more peaceful. The practice of meditation became deeper, and they were able to concentrate more easily and for longer periods. These results reinforced the wisdom of Master Ichiro's teachings. It was not just a matter of rest, but a process of healing and self-discovery that began during sleep. The knowledge that transcends time. The story of the benefits of sleeping on the left side transcended the monastery walls. Visitors from nearby villages heard about the monks' practices and, curious, began to apply them to their own routines. "I noticed a big difference in my morning disposition," commented one of the travelers who visited the temple. Moved over the weeks and months, this wisdom was shared from mouth to mouth, spreading like a gentle wind carrying seeds to fertile lands. Many people, upon adopting this practice, reported improvements in their health and even in their mental clarity. The spiritual meaning of sleeping on the left. Sidakiro concluded with a profound teaching. the practice of sleeping on the left side is not just a physical benefit. It is a journey of connection with ancestral wisdom that reminds us to take care of our sacred temple, the body. By embracing this habit, we are aligning ourselves with greater knowledge and opening ourselves to a spiritual awakening. The silence that followed was almost tangible, filled with gratitude and contemplation. The disciples retired to sleep, but this time with a new perspective on what it meant to rest. Thus, the next time you lie down to rest, remember this teaching and consider resting on your left side. Let Ichiro's words guide your nightly journey and awaken renewed, both in body and soul.